since I've done or worked for him and done video out here because it was packed. Well, they had a 737 hoist here. Yeah, the cab and the hoist, and then that area right there was 25 years of rotten line, you know, broken chokers and stuff, just a huge pile. And then back there in the corner, we might be able to see it if we walk over there. They've got rigging.
Oh, wow.
Like Christie carriages, butt rigging, fall blocks.
Wow.
Because his dad had the business first, and at one time had 11 or 12 tower sides going with a pretty good size outfit. Yeah, they've cleaned up a shit ton out here. Wow. Because when Wade and Stump Jumper come out, we come and walk through, and I got a bunch of video.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and when I was working for him, I did a bunch of video too.
And that was the Skagit you ran.
Yeah, that's the 737 there, and the 50. Both of them are wore out. Bunch of crap. Well, the Skagit, it's in good shape, really. That 50, it's piss poor.
What's if they've got the both these parked up here? They got a ground-based side.
Yeah,
there?
Todd would rather ground-based. That's what he wants to do. The only time he fires up the yarders is in the winter when he cannot shovel log, and he only does that to keep his guys busy. Yeah, he would rather just. But they do a bunch of other stuff too. They've got some land clearing stuff like that. He, is kind of diverse, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's the little 290. The 370's not here, so they must. Well, that Daniel
Miller.
Yeah, he works for him. Because when I got let go, he come to work shortly after. But they got rid of a bunch of crummies too, because that used to be all old crummies, and they've been in this shop for. Geez, they've had to been here 25 plus years, because they originally had a shop downtown Springfield, a smaller one. But yeah, let's walk over here and see if we can see any of that rigging stuff. Oh no, they moved everything. You can see that there. Oh, they gravelled it all. Anyways, yeah, I've got video of what took Wade and those guys back there and just butt rigging and Christie carriages.
Wow.
Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of stuff. There used to be a stroker here, and
Wow.
yeah, they cleaned up
The
quite
clean
a bit.
house.
Probably had to when they put it up for sale. That sucks. But this is,
Wow.
this was my childhood. This is how I, all of these places. We passed that sort yard right up there.
Dexter sort yard.
Yeah, that's Dexter Short Yard. Rick Brewer, that was full of, had, I think, 2 or 3 different companies in there, those bigger shops.
Really?
So all that equipment that's sitting there, and yeah, that's the way, this is how I remember it. All these places around here, you drove around, and then this is the way it was. There was, most of them were still active, but you knew they were logging companies.
Wow. So how many of those you were talking about the FMCs, what was the deal on them?
Well, that's the link belt, yeah, they were called FMC Triad.
Okay.
I think that one's a 78, LS 78.
Okay.
But he's got like 7 or 8 of the LS 98s that still fire and can move logs today.
Wow.
Well, that one is a 98. Yeah, it is. But that's how my dad lost his hand on that machine. He was greasing it. Up until he retired, anytime a crew member had put a new pair of gloves on, and Dad was always an asshole, but whenever he'd see somebody with new gloves, he was just over the top prick, because he was wearing he put brand new gloves on and was greasing, and they had shivs in them, or
yeah,
just like
pulleys.
Just like the yarder, the frictions.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's in there running, and the frictions are turning, and he's greasing, and the White Ox gloves, they get the hairs, and it grabbed a hair, and it took him clear to here before he got out.
Ooh.
And it broke his arm like 5 places between the wrist and the elbow, and then just completely shattered it from here up. He lost his pinky and his thumb, or actually it was the middle finger and the thumb, and like 13 years later, they took the machine in to Ballinger and cleaned it up, was going to sell it, and found his wedding ring.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it was all in all the tacky lube and stuff. He got himself out, and the chaser was Brandon painting some logs just where the trucks got there. And he started yelling at the chasers. The chaser come running up there, and he said he looked up and he just passed out.
Wow.
And they were on top of a tumblebug up out of Oak Ridge. So they got on the big radio and called. They couldn't get a helicopter or anything in there. He had to drive himself an hour and 15 minutes off a tumblebug because the chaser kept passing out before they run into a log truck. And then the log truck driver drove him down the rest of the way down into Oak Ridge where he met the helicopter, and they took him from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They, after surgery and whatnot, his pinky, or the ring finger, they put it back on, but because of all the nerve damage and everything, it pulled these like this, so it would stick straight out. And he'd go to open a door, and he couldn't, or he'd be driving and he'd be hitting the turn signal all the time. And I'm like 6 years old, you know, and so I'm going to the doctor, and he goes in and he goes, "Cut that son of a bitch off, it's worthless." You know, and here's this doctor, he's like, "What?" And, you know, it's just funny. And they made him a prosthetic hand.
Okay.
And went through all of that, and they went and tried it on, worked it, yeah, it works. He put it in his pocket and never wore it, ever. It's set in the junk drawer at home. So, and it's probably where it's at now.
Wow.
He's never used it.
What a story, man.
Yeah, he took, when he, you know, because the throttles on those, it was the throttle
Cable.
like
deal.
this, and then the swing was up and down. So he took a U-bolt and cut it off and put it on the cable under the dash so he could use his knee for the throttle. And then when he started running hydraulic log loader, he would just rewire his grapples so everything was on one side. His rotate and open close was on one side. And he just made a little L bracket that stuck on the bottom of the joystick, so he would slip his hand over it, and then he had control of it.
Wow.
Yeah. 7 years to the day after he lost his hand, he went back to work on the same piece of equipment.
Wow.
Yeah, could you imagine that? That'd be freaky.
That would be kind of wild.
Never let it slow him down, not once.
Wow. That is nuts.
God, it sucks that they cleaned all this up, man. There's a lot of memories in there too, you know, like you say. And I watched the interview, and in the interview I made it sound like I had worked 25 years for these guys, and I hadn't. Just the several times I worked through them over a 25-year period.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably the longest was 2 years, and it was always just a job in between, you know.
Yeah.
Jobs or
got shut down because of heat. Went to work for Rose.
Yeah.
Got broke down. Went to work somewhere else.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Or
they shut down for a while.
As soon as Todd took over, you know, they don't run the yarders that much, so we just did it that one winter, and then that's when Wade and them guys come up, and I got let go.
Huh.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories in here.
What a trip. What a trip.